I would say I'm sort of a digital first generation immigrant. I was born in 1970, and according to the articles, 1980 is sort of the time that we look at as the start of the digital native. But I grew up with some forms of technology, Atari in the 80s, and then as I got into college in the 90s, definitely using computers and word processors was how I wrote my papers, and then later on, how I did some research. And as I've been teaching, it's definitely played a huge part of how I work. It's how I research things. It's how I write my lesson plans, which I do, and I see it as a big part of things. In terms of what I see in education right now, I guess I'm a little skeptical and wary, I should say, because I see how much we're using technology, and I'm not sure that there's a value added yet. I think that right now we're attempting to replace some parts of education, how students do research or how they submit homework, how they communicate sometimes even in class. And I'm not sure yet that we're at the place that what technology can do is even as good as or better than the personal, actual social interaction that students can have in a classroom that's well run. And I think that right now, what I want to see is people learning to add onto each other's ideas, actually communicate and interact and develop their thinking by working with one another and by looking closely at a text more than once and getting other ideas about it. And I'm not sure that technology does that yet. I use a bit myself. I wish I used a little less, but I limit myself to a couple of platforms that I like. I still use Facebook quite a bit. I'm pretty happy that people a generation or so behind me have moved on to other things and have left Facebook for those of us in our 40s and 50s. I love that I can check in and see how people are doing and hear about what's happening in people's lives without actually having to connect with them over the phone or in person. That's great. I don't think it's good, but I think it's enjoyable for me. But what I do notice is that those interactions are sound bites. They're just bits. They're contrived. They're obviously they're pre-thought out, and I can edit them, and I can't do that in real life. And what I need to be able to do is learn how to interact with human beings in real life. And I'm not sure that what we're teaching students to do right now in terms of their communication really helps to develop that. I think it allows the opportunity not to have those kinds of interactions. And so I'm sort of on the fence about where education is going and if it's on the right track in its use of technology. Obviously, we'll use more and more of it. It's cheap to run digital classes, and I wouldn't be surprised if over the next 20 or 30 years there are ways in which the digital education replaces live paid teacher education. But I don't know yet that we're at the point where we understand how to do that in a way that's not only as good as well-taught classes, but better. And I hope that that happens, because I know that we'll always move toward the thing that's convenient and inexpensive. So I hope that over the years we develop a way to do that so that we're not losing social learning, because I think that's really important. And that's my message. Take care.